Section 29 of Christmas and Christmas Lore. This is a Librivox recording. All Librivox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit librivox.org. Recording by Jamie Church. Christmas and Christmas Lore by Thomas G. Crippen. Wassailing. Somewhat akin to mumming is wassailing. Wassail was the old Anglo-Saxon drinking pledge equivalent to your health, to which the response was drink heil. At the Saxon Yule feast it was quite usual, without any feeling of irreverence, to drink wassail to the Lord. The wassail bowl was indispensable at an Old English Christmas feast. At Jesus College, Oxford, there is a huge silver gilt bowl, formerly used at such celebrations, which will hold nearly 10 gallons, and the ladle half a pint. The wassail bowl was considered appropriate not only to Christmas, but also to New Year's Eve and Twelfth Night. At court, and no doubt elsewhere, it was in daily use during all the 12 days of the festive season, and was brought in with more or less of ceremony. In the ordinances for the household of King Henry VII, the following occurs with reference to Twelfth Night. Item: the chapel to stand on one side of the hall, probably the choristers of the chapel royal. And when the steward cometh in at the hall door with the wassail, he must cry 3 times, Wassail, 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 and then the chapel to answer with a good song. The correct charge of the wassail bowl was lamb's wool, a mixture of ale with roasted apples, sugar, and spice. To this Shakespeare seems to allude when he makes Puck say, "Sometimes lurk I in a gossip's bowl, in very likeness of a roasted crab." And he describes winter as the season, when roasted crabs hiss in the bowl. Herrick bids us, crown the bowl full with gentle lamb's wool, add nutmeg, sugar, and ginger, with store of ale too, and this ye must do, to make the wassail a swinger. Here are 2 recipes said to have been used in the royal kitchen in 1633. It will be observed that in the first, as in Herrick's rhyme, the apples are not separately mentioned. 1. Set ale on the fire to warm. Boil a quart of cream with 2 or 3 whole cloves. Add the beaten yolks of 3 or 4 eggs. Stir all together and pour into the ale. Add sops or sippets of fine manchet or French bread. Put them in a basin and pour on the warm mixture, with some sugar and thick cream on that. Stick it well with blanched almonds and cast on cinnamon, ginger, and sugar, or wafers and comfits. 2. Boil 3 pints of ale. Beat 6 eggs, the whites and yolks together. Set both to the fire in a pewter pot. Add roasted apples, sugar, beaten nutmegs, cloves, and ginger. And, being well brewed, drink it while hot. The origin of the name lamb's wool is quite unknown. The only etymology we have met with is that suggested by the antiquarian Valency. He says that the bowl, with its compound of apples and ale, was common to all great festivals, especially Halloween, which was dedicated to the angel or spirit who was supposed to keep guard over fruit, seeds, etc. Accordingly, that day, in some Celtic dialect, was called Lammas Ubhal, otherwise Apple Day, which by easy corruption became Lammasul, and finally lamb's wool. But why the name of a day should be transferred to that of a beverage is not easy to tell. Query, if the more general use of distilled spirit in the early part of the 18th century did not lead to the frequent substitution of punch for the time-honored lamb's wool, a change that has not always promoted an increase of sobriety. In many places it was customary for young men, and elsewhere for maids, to go from farmhouse to farmhouse with a great wooden bowl of spiced ale, gaily bedecked with ribbons and garlands, inviting the inmates to drink wassail to the season. The custom continued in Gloucestershire far down into the 19th century, and perhaps is not yet quite extinct. The song which accompanied the visit was a rollicking bacchanalian ditty, beginning, "Wassail, wassail, all over the town. Our toast it is white, our ale it is brown. Our bowl is made of a maplin tree. We be good fellows all, I drink to thee." Then follow benedictions on the master and mistress, the horse, the ox, and the next year's crop, and the song concludes. "Be there here any maids? I suppose there be some. Sure they'll not let young men stand on the cold stone. Sing hey ho, maids, tirl back the pin, and the fairest maid in the house let us all in." In Herefordshire, on Christmas Eve, the oxen were visited after supper, and a health was drunk in strong ale or cider to the best or favourite ox. A large cake with a hole in it was then hung on the ox's horn. He was tickled to make him toss it, and omens were drawn from the way it fell. The usual incantation was to this effect: "Here's to thy pretty face and thy white horn. God send thy master a good crop of corn. Both wheat, rye, and barley, and all sorts of grain. Next year, if we live, we'll drink to thee again." The party then returned to the house, but found the door fast bolted. It was only opened when someone had guessed what had been provided for supper, or when a merry song had been sung. After that, the remainder of the night was passed in feasting and jollity. Wassailing of trees in Devon, Somerset, and elsewhere is something quite different, and belongs to Old Christmas Eve, i.e., the 5th of January. It will be treated of in its proper place. In Yorkshire, the wassail bowl has long been obsolete, though the name in its variant, vessel cup or vessel cup, still survives. But what the children carry about is the Yule baby, already described. The song that accompanies it, certainly the best of the wassail songs, begins, "Here we come a-wassailing among the leaves so green. Here we come a-wandering, so fair to be seen. Love and joy come to you, and to you your wassail too. And God bless you, and send you a happy new year." In the black country of Staffordshire, a rabble of young urchins make night hideous from St. Thomas's Day to Twelfth Night. They carry neither wassail bowl nor Yule baby, but yell in every variety of discord. A pie sat in a pear tree, the hen sat clucking by. I wish you a Merry Christmas, and every day a pie, a pocket full of money, a cellar full of beer, and a good fat pig in the pigsty to last you all the year. The roads are very dirty, my shoes are very thin. Please, good mistress and master, chuck a penny in. A pie, etc. ad libitum. End of section 29. Recording by Jamie Church.